Oof, Diogenes here again. Once again, carrying my torch, cell phone, through the streets of Athens, social media, in search of open-minded, decent, and honest human beings. Stop and stay a while and tell me, do you just see a dog barking into the wind? Or are you willing to hear a man share his life experiences and try to let you learn something? So, today, what is cynicism, both traditional and modern ties? And who is the original Diogenes of Sinope, the old Greek philosopher? Well, first of all, obviously I call myself Diogenes, and respect to Diogenes. I am the great modern American cynic, torch-bearing in this world. We live in a chaotic time where everyone's seeking clout, chasing virality in hopes of fame, and these things mean nothing to me. I am here sharing my anti-content, or raw, unedited human content from the perspective of a modern cynic and torch-bearing for cynicism. So let's highlight upon a little bit about who Diogenes, the dog of Sinope, is. Well, he was exiled and he went to Athens, and he's well credited as the father of cynicism. Some of his more famous exploits were how he carried his lantern during the day through the streets of Athens in search of honest men. Another one of his more famous exploits was in regards to Plato saying that humans are just featherless bipeds. He plucked a chicken, and then he carried that in and said, "Look, behold, a man." One of my more favorite exploits of him is when Alexander the Great came upon him. And he was, in the streets or near the Quorum or wherever there in Athens by his clay pot, enjoying the sun, simplistic in life. And Alexander came up to him and offered, he goes, I will offer you anything. And he said, just step out of my light, with no care to who the man was, no real respect to who he was. Just the simplistic view of wanting the warmth of the sunlight and how another man was stealing that from him. I feel the same way in the modern life as I have forged my own path. And while I don't like the term, I suppose a lot of people have referred to me as Sigma, but I very much dislike that intrinsic hierarchy that people try to perpetuate, as I believe it's a mythos and falsehood and sets us up for failing. We are what we are. We are men, we are women, we are human. Hierarchies are worthless, in my opinion. But we all have our inherent personalities, and that can affect, I guess, our standing in the world. It means nothing to me. I have forged my own path of curiosity, exploration, and academia. And these are the things that matter to me most over money, wealth, power, clout, chasing fame, or caring what other people think about me. I'm willing to very much walk my own path, be provocative, be audacious, and challenge societal norms, just like Diogenes did. And I think that we need a strong modern cynic in this world that is willing to be outspoken and share the torch-bearing of what modern cynicism can be in relationship to traditional cynicism. And I have a furthermore clarification upon what my credibility is as I influx my own stance, not just regurgitation of what other people think it is. And I have the unique coloring of Ojibwe philosophy, or Ojibwa, because I come from a long line of prominent Ojibwa educators, philosophers, leaders, and warriors. And this Native American philosophy has really helped develop and harden my cynicism in the modern world. So, let's talk traditional cynicism. I apologize if I do pronunciate these old Greek words incorrectly, as I am very good with the English language, but other language, not so much. I know bits and pieces, but let's talk paresia, or frank or free speech, and how this has been really taken away from a lot of people throughout the corporate neutering of cynicism, because people have to fit into our little boxes. And that means you have to play nice, and you're not allowed to frankly speak or freely speak. You can't speak the truth to power. You can't be open and honest. And audacity generally gives you the coloring of an outsider, not willing to fit in, not willing to conform. In cynics, we value the freedom and frankness of open, honest speech, criticizing people in power, not following cult of personalities. And that was also highlighted upon how Diogenes plucked the feathers from the chicken and said, "Behold a man," highlighting the hypocrisy and flaws of Plato, one of the most well-regarded philosophers throughout history. Even the best of us, we make errors, and I am not immune to this flaw of humanity, and my humble nature would approach this as a modern torchbearer for Diogenes, as saying that I am one of the dumbest smart people you will ever meet. Meaning I am comfortable in knowing where my ignorance lies and where my intelligence lies. And while I suppose by measurement standards, I am more intelligent than most humans, I won't talk that up as to how, because then it'll sound arrogant or like I'm bragging. But I am sure that you can tell on how I talk and convey myself that I am indeed well-studied and intelligent within my wheelhouse of what my specialties are. And yes, I am extremely ignorant in various other areas, because the more specialized your knowledge becomes, generally the more foolish you seem in other areas. And that goes, I'd like to paraphrase the old quote, I believe it was Einstein, as we're all geniuses, but if you try to teach a fish like you would teach a monkey, they'll always feel ignorant. And I believe I said that wrong, so I will say that's a paraphrase. But my point is we can all develop a form of genius. It's just a matter of finding out where that special talent lies and what our interest is. And it may take some of us longer to get there than others, but our abilities are there. It's just a matter of someone being able to look you in your eyes, see your humanity, and try to uncover that hidden gem. I was lucky enough to have a lot of mentors to see those hidden gems within me. And as a younger man, often people would tell me, "You're a natural-born leader." And at the time, as a young, non-confident man, insecure, I would totally not understand how and what they saw in me. And it probably wasn't honestly until the last 6 months that I really started to confidently see that in myself as I've developed as a man. It only took me like 44 years to get there, but I've never been fast at anything. I am more persevering and enduring as this. I am the Ironman triathlon, and that's a signal of perseverance and digging deep into our suitcase of suffering, and having the audacity to do things that most would say are impossible. But with dedication and diligence, I believe that nearly everything is possible within reason. We just may have to find a creative way to get from point A to B, to be successful, and not be afraid of failure or let the others' opinions of us dictate our reality. You have to confidently grow into who you are and to become your gift, your specialty. And you have to be able to stand and speak and be unafraid. And many people are worried too much about what other people think or their opinions, or, like I said, trying to chase clout or fame and money. And in the end, those things are unimportant. Well, I don't necessarily knock people for pursuing such things. The pursuit of wealth and possession are just unimportant to me. I have an insatiable curiosity for education, exploration of self and the world around me, and pushing myself and pushing my boundaries, and criticizing people in power. And examples of this is what really started to hard bring my lines as a cynic is watching Oliver North when he was on trial for the Iran-Contra affair. And that was what began my lifelong quest of knowledge, truth, and questioning undyingly people of authority. Because once I saw that a 4 or 5-star general was on trial for such things, it made me question everything. But you have to be critical in your questioning, and not just listen to things that positively reinforce what your opinion and stance are. That is disingenuous. You have to learn and hear the uncomfortable things and seek knowledge from other sides. You have to be willing to learn and challenge your own opinions, not just reinforce them through hearing exactly what other people share your opinions with. That is not good for yourself, and it's not good for society. You have, in my opinion, failed if you're not willing to go outside of your comfort zone and seek truth from all sides to correctly formulate your own opinion. And I do believe that a lot of people are afraid. It's much easier to hear an opinion that reinforces your idea of reality than something that challenges it and forces you to grow and look not just within yourself, but without yourself, outside, and seeking and respecting the knowledge and opinions of others that differ than yours. And that's how you truly grow and truly learn. You have to open your mind. And one of the principles, two of the main principles of cynicism is seeking truth and the death of ego. And very few modern men have mastered or understand the importance of the death of ego and what that truly means and encompasses. And I do struggle with that principle of cynicism myself, because I'm human, and we are overly rational, egotistical creatures by our nature. It doesn't mean we can't overcome it. It is just, in my opinion, one of our greatest flaws as a species of higher organic sentience. We lose sight because we over-rationalize everything and often seek confirmation bias from those that agree with us, rather than listening to the whole story, killing the ego, and being able to learn and grow and take in other opinions to fully formulate a picture of what the truth is, not just the truth as to the way that we see it from our egotistical view of over-rationalization. Now, let's talk about anadaya. This is shamelessness, impudence, audacity. We love this highlighting hypocrisy, seeking balance and virtue in accordance with nature. And it also ties into killing self. In between parrhesia and anadeia, we want to try to live in accordance with nature, a simple life, not always chasing more. You have to learn how to say when is enough is enough. And for me, that is very little. I often work as smart and lazily as I possibly can, and you can fault me for that, but I've been fairly successful by working with just the powers of my brain and as little as possible. I don't recommend that everyone does that, and it's not for everyone to follow my path. But I'm not here to tell you to follow exactly my path. I'm just seeking to try to open your mind and make you think and possibly slow down that hustle culture that is damaging mentally and psychologically to our culture. It is unsustainable. And I'll tie that to a principle of what I call the known universe, business, and empires. And that's with reckless expansion, always comes reckless collapse. You can call it the law of equivalent exchange or many, many other things. But that's at the heart of what I think that is. In trying to find balance, virtue, simplicity, seeking out truth, highlighting hypocrisy. And in the modern world, this ties to the puritanical values. Oh, we are prudish and so modest. How dare anything go beyond our puritanical values of Western society? They're very much shunned and ostracized if you don't fit into a nice little box of humanity, following the crowd, being a good Christian or a straight person. I was raised to look at people in the eyes. I don't care who you pray to. I don't care who you love. I don't care who you have sex with. I care how you treat people. I care about your actions. Your words are meaningless to me. Your wealth is meaningless to me. Your possessions are meaningless to me. These mean nothing of the character of the man or woman. Show me your actions. Show me how you treat people. Show me how you engage with people that you think personally are below you in society. Because true traditional cynicism, we focus on giving voice to the voiceless. And we'd much rather walk with those who are ostracized and shunned by society because they are far more their authentic selves than anybody that is trying to be up in the upper echelons of power or corporate society. They are, in my opinion, inauthentic, empty, Vespa, sad, bitter humans. And in my experience from sitting with billionaires, CEOs, corporate magnates, NSA, and other three-letter heads, to everyone in between in those businesses of society, and the homeless and those who have very little, and the lower workers that most people shun. I'd much have a higher regards and respect for those who have little because they are authentic, they are genuine. They are generally the happiest people I've ever met because they're living their authentic lives. They're not worried about what others think. They're more worried on survival and taking care of those around them, lifting up others because they know what it's like to have little. And it's these people who are often willing to give the most and treat others the best. And that's what matters to a cynic more than anything else. Your actions, empathy, your caring, your willingness to speak truth to power, frank speech, highlight on hypocrisy, trying to change traditional society norms, and giving respect to others' humanities who do not fit into the tribe. Because that goes back to our old animalistic instincts before we evolved into a higher society. And while those instincts served their purpose for keeping our tribes safe, in a higher advanced society, it's foolishness to follow your instinctual animalistic primal tendencies to ostracize and criticize the rejects or fringes of society, because we are all human. And at the end of the day, we all want basically the same things: food, shelter, community, and occasionally the respect from others to see us as our human self, to respect our humanity, not criticize it. And that's why I am very firmly always going to speak truth to power. And I loathe anybody that just blindly follows cult of personality. And this is why I've focused on creating my anti-content. And boy, I am going way over time here, so I'll try to wrap it up. While I won't be shamelessly lewd in the streets like Diogenes was, I'm going to use my unique blend of focus and study of traditional cynicism, modern cynicism, mixed with my Native American philosophies, to speak truth to power, to help teach my way of the dog, to seek balance amid chaos and plastic people. So, if you've made it this far, thank you. I hope that you were willing to put your ego away, to listen, to learn, and not just hear a dog barking into the wind aimlessly. Because my purpose is to try to enlighten and open your mind. But do just remember that I am but a voice, and what you do with this voice and information is completely up to you. I'm not asking you to follow me necessarily. I am just asking you to think. And that is a quote from Diogenes. So, thank you. Please like, subscribe, and share, and encourage my shenanigans seeking balance in this world that we live. Woof. The great modern American cynic, Diogenes the dog. Out.